All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Two Buddies Creators Corner. My name is Rob Balasabas with the Two Buddy team. Really excited to be here with you guys today. It's been a little while since we've done a live stream here, but wanted to really bring on a really special guest, Sarah Beth and Leland from Sarah Beth Yoga. They have achieved 1 million subscribers, running an awesome business behind the scenes, just having a little chat with them right before we went live, and really wanted to bring them on to share some of the things that they've learned over the years. They've been on YouTube for a number of years, and really share that with you, answer some of your questions, and help you not only grow your channel, but really build a solid business behind the scenes to sustain all of those things that you guys are doing on YouTube. So without further ado, let's bring them on, because they're going to be way more funner to watch than me. So give me 2 seconds here. We're going to bring them on. Here we go. Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah. Happy to be with you guys here as well. So why don't you guys say hello to everybody in the Two Buddy world and kind of introduce yourselves, your channel, and what you guys are doing.
Good.
All right. Hi. Two Buddy world and all of you on YouTube and on Facebook. I'm Sarah Beth from Sarah Beth Yoga. This is my husband, Leland. Together we run Sarah Beth Yoga, and it has been 10 years in the making. But it was one of those long, slow progressions that did one of these. And we learned a lot along the way, building this business. And now I can say it's a business, where in the beginning it was just kind of a hobby, YouTube yoga channel. Even before that, we weren't sure what we were doing with it. But we've learned a lot, and we've implemented a lot. We've made some mistakes, and now we have a Sarah Beth Yoga membership app, Sarah Beth Yoga mat, over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Really excited. I would love to hear the story of how you guys actually got started on YouTube, because looking at your channel, looks like you guys were on YouTube for since 2010. But I think you guys mentioned that the growth really started to happen a few years ago. So would love to, just get the story of why did you guys get started on YouTube? How the early days were like, and what that really looked like.
You want to start with 4-hour work week, Tim Ferriss?
Yeah, so this was probably 11 or 12 years ago, and I was freaking out, just in a transitional place in careers. I'd withdrawn from college. I had a very low self-esteem at the time, and I thought I just quit modeling because I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know what that was. So I was freaking out, and my husband was my boyfriend at the time, and he handed me the 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, which I'm sure many of you guys are very familiar with the book. At the time, it was very inspiring, and we tried and failed at a couple of businesses using kind of the techniques and the ideas from that book. But at the same time, I started a YouTube channel, not really sure what I was going to do with it. I was inspired by Philip DeFranco, and so I created a channel called The Sarah Beth Show. And I just talked about anything and everything, and it was really cluttered, and I didn't commit to it because I was scared. You probably won't be able to find that video now because it is so old and so bad and so cringy. I think it was 32 seconds long, and I said stuff. I explained what I was creating for the channel as stuff 3 times. So it was really vague, but I think after a year of starting that channel and making videos about whatever was going on in my life, I also got my yoga teacher training. And
hey, Abby Jack.
Hi, Jack.
Hey, Abby Jack.
So I did my yoga teacher training, and I saw that there was a lot of content in front of me during my yoga teacher training. And I started creating videos on YouTube. I think my first video was a morning yoga routine. I made a bedtime yoga routine. I made some breakdown videos. And I started noticing that the community I was creating out of the yoga videos was really what I wanted to do. And so I started making more and more and more yoga videos online. I still was scared to commit to that once a week time slot. I just kind of uploaded whenever I had the time. But when I did commit, which was probably around 2013 or 2014, that's when I actually started to see some real growth.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's when it started to grow then. So 2013, 2014, that's going to really be my next question. You guys have been on YouTube for 10 years. And was there like something that kind of triggered sort of that growth to really, kind of skyrocket or at least increase, was there something that you guys did, or was it just like sort of a result of being consistent, or what was that?
Yeah, we talked about this last night, actually. One of the things that she did was she was on, I think it was either Fiverr or one of those third-party websites, and she hired somebody for SEO. And it was like, very entry-level SEO, but that was sort of, when you start figuring out how the algorithm works. And that was sort of what we thought was the first or one of the big turning points early on, at least, before revenue, but just views, subscribers, that type of stuff.
Nice. Okay. Sounds good. So it's really, focusing on SEO. That's awesome. So with you guys, I want to talk a little bit about the business side, because like I said, kudos to what you guys have built. You guys have an app, courses, consultations, so many different things happening. Would love to hear some of the different revenue channels that you guys have set up over the years, that are really working for you guys behind the scenes.
So there's multiple revenue channels, and I would recommend that anyone that has YouTube not rely on YouTube as their main source of revenue, because as you probably know, that can go away anytime. We've experienced, Adpocalypse 1, Adpocalypse 2, we like all of these different things that are affecting our revenue online. And so I started moving my revenue offline. I mean, I really didn't have much revenue on YouTube in the beginning at all in the first place, even when things started to grow. So I created a digital yoga class, a 60-minute yoga class called Warrior Strength. And I don't upload anything longer than 30 minutes to YouTube so that I can sell this class, so that there's kind of this difference between my free content and this premium content. And I sold that class on Vimeo for about, I think, $10. And it sold well. I marketed it. I learned about marketing. But after that first month of launch, it wasn't selling very well. It was like I had this initial launch and all of my subscribers and everybody were excited about it. And then it kind of died down after that. So I tried that a couple more times and had the same experience, was that people got really excited about it when I was talking about it, but then it would just kind of sit there. And so then between that and the membership, I created a program, a prenatal yoga program. So I thought, let me bundle classes together and make a calendar and some extra videos, maybe some guides. And that did pretty well, especially because I was pregnant at the time and I was prenatal certified at the time. Well, I still am. And so I was able to create this high quality program. But again, I had all of these things now sitting kind of on a shelf for people to buy. Hi, Hanna. And then in 2017 was when we launched the Sarah Beth Yoga app. And that was months in the making. It was very exciting. But what happened was that we 10x'd our revenue overnight by launching the membership. So those are our main sources of revenue. There's a little bit of merch here and there, but I wouldn't consider those massive. Yeah,
I mean, even in the image there, you can see the yoga mat, but we use that more as like a bonus to get people on the digital products, just because revenue margins are a lot harder in physical mats. Plus, you have to do a lot more customer service, dealing with returns. Things are late, people don't like it. So we try to be mostly digital as much as possible.
Mostly digital, which is easier to scale, right? So that's really important. I didn't realize that 10x overnight just by launching the app. There's a good question here. I'm just going to jump into questions sporadically here when it makes sense. So question from Guy or Guy, did you build the app or use an app service?
So Sarah Beth Yoga's on Uscreen right now, and we really like them. I know Rob's worked with some people on Uscreen. It's a white label, so you can think of it like Squarespace for apps. And so they've got different tiers. They handle all the tech stuff. And so Sarah Beth Yoga's on all the platforms. So she's on iOS, Android, etc. And we didn't build it. We've thought about it. Most people who have built apps have a lot of horror stories. And you have to maintain it, and that's expensive. There are some benefits. It's just not our strength zone. So we use Uscreen. We really like them. I used to work in that industry, so I worked with one of Uscreen's competitors previously. So for what we use with Sarah's model, Uscreen's perfect. They're really high level. Yeah.
It's also way more affordable. to use like services, like white label services like Uscreen versus creating it yourself, especially considering all of the pieces, the different features that the apps have when you're using white label. If you try to build it yourself, you have to get developers to build those pieces in, and things go wrong really quickly. And we both learned early on that you can't just be like, just make a button. Like, that's what we want to say, but
just put a button right there. It'll be
just make a button.
The other cool thing about Uscreen, or if you go that route, is that they allow you an escalation. So you can start without apps. You can just sell membership, browser based, and that allows you even a lower entry point. So you don't need to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars a month to get a specific like technology. You can start with just browser, and then as you grow your membership, then you can get more apps, get more technology to support it, but you don't need it right away. That's another benefit of getting started with, like, we're used to bootstrapping, like,
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, a very good point to make. If you want to make an app, it's very expensive to make an app. So, something white label that is, again, you guys, it's not just building the app, it's maintaining the app and all those things. So, something that you pay for, you don't realize. But yeah, thanks for the question, Guy. Jason says, I'd have settled for 8X. That's good. Guys also wondering, what's the price point for your gated content for membership? I think this is a really important question. A lot of YouTube creators tend to lean on memberships in one form or another, Patreon or their own actual membership offline and things like that. So for you guys, is there one membership? Is there tiers? Like how have you guys modeled that?
So it's one membership. Sarah Beth Yoga is just one full membership, and there's multiple ways to access that membership. Like there's the monthly subscription, annual subscription, and then we have a couple funnels in the back end that sell discounted rates or like an exclusive quarterly subscription. When we first launched in 2017, we launched with a founder's rate. So it was $10 a month and $98 a year, but it was heavily marketed that this is a limited time only exclusive rate. It's very low on purpose because it's a founder's rate. So since you're with me now, you get access at this, very low rate. It's going to go up, but your rate stays the same for as long as you're a member. And then as I added content to the app, we raised the price slowly over time. Now the price settles at about $30 a month or $248 a year. And then there's, some discounts available every once in a while, or the quarterly membership offer is something that we play with. Something that as a YouTuber, I had to get over mentally, it was like a mental block, was, YouTubers like free content. Hi, baby. They expect free content. And so when I started pricing my content, I felt like I had a money block for actually pricing a premium price. And I even had people say that to me, this is way too expensive. What are you thinking? And even now people will say that at $30 a month, are you serious? And they'll compare me to other people or to other services. But at that point, you have to say and you have to recognize that this is my premium content. This allows us to make the high quality content that you're even seeing on YouTube. The only reason I'm able to make content for YouTube that's filmed in a full production studio with, a team of people is because we are being funded by the Sarah Beth Yoga members. And on top of that, it's not comparable. Everybody's business model is different, and you can't really see behind the scenes on what's going on back there. So whenever people are comparing, I'm like, yes, that's a natural thing to do, but I reject that. Plus, what is it that you say when people see a higher number?
Well, just from a consulting standpoint, you'd want to, I like pricing high. Generally, you can offer more of a discount. But one of the things that maybe if we were to look at Sarah Beth Yoga from the beginning now is that we would think about the membership first and the YouTube channel second. And we started the YouTube channel, she started the YouTube channel without the business model in mind. And so having the business model in mind is actually really important for how you want to monetize. Depending on everybody's different, right? But depending on what your price point is, like Sarah's going to charge $30 for yoga, right? But if you're teaching people how to, make 6 figures doing real estate, or 6 figures, if you're teaching a higher price point, if you have more value, you can charge way more. we have memberships that are $2,000 a month. We've done $500 a month. We've done really high ticket. It's more related to the value if you're thinking about a business model and using YouTube to leverage it. And Happy Jack Yoga, one of the people that commented, is a really good example of, he's got a $2,000 a year membership, right? Different price point. He's using YouTube in a similar way, but he's using it for the business model. So don't be shy to charge more, especially if you have something that's really valuable.
Well, and the expectation is if someone sees a product that's $5, they're expecting to get $5 worth of value. If someone sees a product that is $500, they're going to expect that it's going to be premium, it's going to be high quality. And as long as you could deliver that value, you should charge what you're worth.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally believe that. That's a really good point. Thanks for the comment too, Happy Jack. There's a good question from Jason. And this is a really important question as well. People I'm really glad that these questions are coming up. Why did you guys consider a membership versus just a bunch of individual courses?
So that's because when I did start and I had all of those different, the products on the shelf type of thing, I noticed that when I did that, I had to actively sell all of these products and at their own individual prices. And yes, I could create funnels to sell each of these things, but it just made more sense to create one membership that houses everything. And then I can create a community. So there are people in my membership that are only there for the prenatal yoga program and the prenatal content, but now they're accessing a community that they can ask questions to. They can talk to other women who have done the prenatal program, and then they'll graduate out of the prenatal program and look at the postnatal content and ask the community, hey guys, I had a C-section and my doctor said I'm ready to start exercising again. What videos did you like the most? And so it's like this family that we create and we can all grow together.
Yeah, I like that. So community, and then also just you don't have to promote and do when you're in the digital marketing world, there's product launches, hyping it up, opening the cart, closing the cart. So I imagine everything just gets funneled to one sort of offer for you guys at this point, right?
Yeah, well, you kind of get the best of both worlds because Sarah adds new calendars, or you can add new stuff to the membership every month, and then you can promote it individually to specific markets, but you can say that it's only available in the membership. So you're only managing one funnel, but you can sell a yoga calendar for weight loss, or yoga for flexibility, or yoga for, specific type of yoga. So you can kind of do the product launch game, and you can market different things. You're not always selling the membership. You can sell components of the membership right within it, prenatal, etc. So, yeah, so you can do both if you do the membership. You can still build courses out. You just make them only available in the membership.
Sounds good. Awesome. Sounds good. Okay, so I want to ask you guys, because you guys have been on YouTube for quite some time now. Looking back, is there anything that you guys would have done differently with the way, maybe the timing of launching products or anything? Is there anything that you guys would have done differently and offered, maybe start monetizing sooner, or, get focused sooner? Was there anything that you guys looking back, that would have maybe changed, maybe sped up our growth or our business a little bit more if we did this thing differently?
I mean, there's so many things.
There's so many things.
That's part of business. You learn as you go. And sometimes you make mistakes, but you learn from those mistakes. I think something I struggled with for a long time in this industry was burnout. And back in early 2017, before we launched the app, I actually took a 12-week break from everything because I had to. I just got to this place where I was like, either I take this break or I'm just going to shut it all down.
Oh, wow.
So I felt like I was up against a wall and I just did the break. But what was nice was that because of the nature of my content, YouTube yoga, YouTube fitness even kind of has this, where the majority of my views come from search. So even when I took my break, I didn't see a decrease in my stats, which is what I was so afraid of. I was like, my channel is going to die. I'm going to lose it. YouTube, the algorithm's going to stop feeding people to my videos. And that didn't happen. And so I felt this kind of like, okay, well, I think I understand my channel better. I came back with a vengeance. I was going once a week, sometimes twice a week. We launched the app. we started leveraging the traffic we were getting on YouTube to then funnel them to like the membership app. That's the same thing. The membership is the app. The app is part of the membership.
Right.
And I wish that I would have known that it's not an all or nothing, this weekly upload schedule, at least for me and my industry and my channel. Maybe because I'm at 1 million subscribers now, I have this golden halo. So I can do a couple of things differently. But right now I'm uploading once a month. And I started doing that during the pandemic because we didn't have access to our studio. You know, our children are home now. They're not in preschool anymore. So it's just a lot harder to work the same way we used to. And I was uploading once a month. And honestly, my mental health is so much better. I'm not focused so much on how this one video is performing every single week. I can focus more on creating programs and checking in on my membership and like working on things that really move the needle.
I like that. That's awesome. I want to say hello. Speaking of Uscreen, looks like Daniel's here from Uscreen. What's up, Daniel? Good to see you. No, I really like that. I was actually going to ask you guys, how often are you guys uploading now versus maybe, and I'm sure it's changed and kind of like gone down over the years, but you know, when you were a smaller channel, were you uploading more versus now, which is once a month? You know, did you guys kind of switch the strategy there with your content schedule?
Yeah, so it was once a week. That was like, you know, kind of the YouTube Bible of how often you should be uploading. So I followed that. And it was once a week. And there was a time where we revved it up. I think in 2018, we went twice a week. Because of the specific style of content that I create, though, it's not talking head. It's not like I can film it and edit it and upload it all in the same week. This is stuff that takes months in the making. Of, you know, sequencing and batch filming and then editing and then marketing. And so creating 2 videos a week, I felt like I was losing touch with even the content that I was creating. Like I felt like I didn't even have enough creative energy to think of a proper title. So I would SEO the title like mad and then just hope for the best. And now I have like 17 full body yoga stretches. And I'm like, I can't even tell them apart. That was a mistake for me. I went back to once a week. And then just recently I dropped down to once a month. And I had a lot of fear doing that. And I sat down with my team, with Leland, with Paige. We were in India at the time. And I said, when we get back, we're dropping down to once a month. Because this is what we need. And the fear is that YouTube, you know, the whole channel will die. It's, you know, you're told not to do this. We're going to do this and we're going to make it work. And we all agreed, we're going to figure this out. Yeah, no, that's great. I was talking to just another creator actually just before the live stream, and he hasn't uploaded in 5 months, but his subscription it doubled, like his subscriber base doubled, just because he was really focused on search as well, just like you guys. So I'm curious now though that you guys are over 1 million. What are some of the metrics that you guys still pay attention to? Like when you upload a video, do you guys kind of watch view velocity and all these things that, you know, maybe some other smaller channels are paying attention to, and tweaking thumbnails and things like that? Like, love to get inside your heads, you know, once you guys upload new videos, what do you guys kind of go through to make sure
this is kind of a funny thing. We actually don't pay attention to subscribers that much. You know, it's good to get the 1 million, like we talked about. It's, you know, that's cool, but views, new emails, new sales, and then current MRR, current monthly revenue from the membership. So those 4 metrics, but really sales, current MRR are the big ones. So we make sure that we try to make sure we're always going in the right direction. So new emails, new sales, and increasing our membership.
Nice. So very much more on the business side of things, not much really on the YouTube analytics and the vanity metrics on YouTube.
Well, so we use YouTube a lot to get leads. So
yeah.
So if the first metric's right, then YouTube should be performing right.
Right. That makes sense.
Getting leads in within, hopefully all the other stuff's going well. So, but we've used TubeBuddy and we're pretty dialed in with YouTube. So, go ahead.
Well, we have a system for view velocity. So once we built that system, then we just continue to put it in place. And I pay attention a little bit, you know, for the first 24, 48 hours and the first 7 days of a video's upload to see how it's performing. And because I've been uploading once a month, I've noticed that all of those videos are actually performing better than my videos prior. And I think part of that is because that video sits up at the, newest upload. Yep. And so I'm getting I think right now I'm getting about 40,000 new subscribers a month. So that's 40,000 new people that are like, oh, I'll do that one. Versus, kind of each video cannibalizing the one before it. And so I do pay attention to view velocity. The second video on my channel right now, Build Strength, the second most recent upload, I did change the title because I looked back at it and I'm like, that one just did not perform as well as the videos prior. And it's that 15-minute power yoga workout. It says Build Strength on the thumbnail. And I changed the title from, I think it was 15-minute power yoga beach bod level 1 routine or something like that. And I was like, I'm going to go back to my basics where I just make it as clear as possible. It's a 15-minute power yoga workout. I know that search term works well for me. Level 1, people like to see that. And then beach bod, because that is the actual describing factor of the video. And I mean, you're not supposed to be able to see a change in stats right away, but I did. When I changed it, I could see it within the 48-hour,
wow.
A change in stats. And I've noticed since then, okay, this one's starting to pick up.
I love that. Yeah. So when did you say okay, let's tweak the title? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Was it 48 hours, 72 hours?
I tweaked it 3 weeks out.
3 weeks out. Okay. So you gave it 3 weeks to kind of let's see what YouTube will do with it. And then you experience some change right away. That's awesome. Also love the thumbnails, guys. I know there's a lot of thought behind this. So maybe just share, when I jumped into the coaching call a couple of weeks ago, I kind of understood what the colors and everything. So, thumbnails is a big hot topic with our community, as you can imagine. So would love to know what's the idea behind the thumbnails? Why did you guys choose different colors and certain colors?
So these thumbnails are relatively new, and the colors represent the different styles of yoga that I teach, which is explained in the welcome video on the channel. It's also on the homepage of the channel. I have each style as their own kind of section. Pink is power, so you'll expect to get a workout. Teal is vinyasa. You'll expect to flow through yoga. Blue is hatha, so you will stretch probably for about 3 breaths each movement. And then purple is yin or restorative, which is long holding deep stretches. So when people come to my channel, they might say, this was way too fast. And I'll respond with, well, you might like the blue and purple thumbnail videos better. Awesome. Those are hatha and restorative. Or people start to catch on. They're like, I love the pink videos. Oh, that's power yoga. I love power yoga. But if you go to my, if you sort my videos by most popular instead of most recent, you'll see how I used to do it. So that first video there, Morning Yoga for Beginners, is untouched. And all of my thumbnails looked like that. And that was back when I did thumbnails. And the color was different depending on what the actual series was. So Morning Yoga had that light blue, or the beginners sequence have that light blue, flexibility was orange. But after 300 videos, it started to look really messy.
Right.
And that's when I started moving everything to this one kind of system of colors. And I learned that the white was actually blending into the white of YouTube. And it was suggested to me to swap out the colors so that the background was the color, the text was white. And that's what I ended up doing. But I hired people to do that for me at that point because I was learning how to delegate and outsource.
That's awesome. There's a question here that's related from Jason. Have you ever tested thumbnails without text?
So I have a little, but not thoroughly. I know that there are people in the industry, in the YouTube industry specifically, that are doing well with thumbnails without text. I think if you do that, you really need to have a really clear idea of the type of image that people want to see. Usually they're close-ups. Usually it has your face involved. If people are going to want to see maybe muscles, if it's going to be a power routine, or if you want it to seem accessible, it needs to be a pose that is actually easy to access. But for me, I found that having text on the thumbnails was really significant for my viewers because people are reading my thumbnails and not my titles.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's I see a lot of photographers and sort of videographers, people with products kind of thing, camera channels, they have there's no text, but I love what you guys are doing. I mean, it's it's interesting though that one is just, it's like at 14 million views, and the next one is like just like 4 million views. So there's something about that first video. Have you guys thought about that? Like, why is that video just like so much more, even the next second video, as far as views?
That video got picked up, I think, a year after by the algorithm.
Okay.
And so it got picked up for yoga for beginners. It got picked up for morning yoga for beginners. It got picked up for yoga. And that video kind of lifted my whole channel up. And I didn't really I didn't understand that well what was happening, but that's when I learned even more about SEO. And I started applying what I had learned about that video to the rest of my channel. Even like that pose right there, I was like, wow, that pose looks like something that might feel good. And it looks like something that is actually accessible, like a beginner could do it. Let's keep that. Or even the blue is like a welcoming, warm, color.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
So one thing I wanted to say about the thumbnails is if you look at this, you can see that it's a little bit messy. So Sarah has a prenatal video that's the same color as energizing, right? They're both green. And if you go to the new thumbnails, one of the things that Sarah's been able to do that we think is going to help with watch time is that we're training the audience into what type of style that they're going to like. So when they get served a video, they're going to know whether they like it in advance, and they're not going to click away. Where before our thumbnails might have looked clickable, but the styles weren't the same. So now we think that it's just a better way to serve the audience, because the watch time will be better, because it just helps them filter out which ones they want much easier. Yeah, that's the idea anyway.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. And like, even kind of going into your community and, even comments, it's so easy. It's like, hey, go watch the blue videos, watch the pink videos. Like that's so easy. So yeah, no, I love that. Awesome. So I would love to, as we're starting to wrap up here, if you guys have any other questions, please drop them in the chat. We want to make sure, we get as much value and information from Sarah and Leland here. So I'm curious when it comes to, because you guys mentioned that a big part of your search of your views is from search. And so would love to kind of understand the type of keywords you guys are going after. Are you guys testing different keywords, or do you guys typically have found your core keywords and tags that you guys use? Kind of starting to geek out on YouTube strategies here. But yeah, we're just curious if you guys are using sort of the same set of keywords for different playlists or types of videos, or are you guys kind of testing different keywords as you guys go?
I stick to the keywords that are working for us, and those keywords are in a lot of the videos. They're also each their own playlist, so that then that playlist is all those same keywords, like morning yoga, yoga for beginners, yoga flow occasionally, yoga workout works out well, power yoga workout works out well for us, yoga for flexibility, full body yoga stretch. Those are all keywords that I go after. So when I'm creating content, I keep that in mind. Like, can I get a morning yoga routine out of this? Can I get a full body flow or full body yoga out of this? One that did well for us recently that I really enjoyed doing was the mobility yoga for neck and shoulder relief. And I know that if I hit this yoga for neck or yoga for neck and shoulder right, it does well. It's a tricky one though, because I've tried to hit it before and it didn't work out for us. But the most recent one I did, I think 4 months ago, actually performed really well. So occasionally we test it out. I really do like creating more creative content and more niche content, like yoga for sciatica, yoga for scoliosis. But at this point, that's the kind of content I like to put in the membership. And so then YouTube is a little bit more like what you can expect is, that morning yoga, that yoga stretch. And then if you want something like prenatal yoga or yoga to unwind after work, those are more niche. And even those are requests that I get from my community, so I can create them for the membership.
Got it. So that's how you guys kind of differentiate what goes in the membership and what goes on YouTube. So the really niche specific ones that maybe is not searchable goes into the membership. Do I have that right? Yeah.
Well, one thing I would say too, we're constrained a little bit because Sarah bulk films. So one of the things that people are starting over that we would do from the beginning is bulk film. And Sarah bulk films the membership content and the free content. So it's just a smaller portion of what she's already filming, right? So because the business model comes first, the content's all one chunk, and then smaller pieces of it go on YouTube. And so they have to be aligned, right, with keywords and with whatever the ultimate offer is.
That makes sense. That makes so much sense. Awesome. Okay, we've got a really good question here from Brandon. Hey, Brandon, have you ever tried anything to grow your channel outside of organic discovery, such as getting featured on shows, PR, paid ads? Have you guys done anything on that in sort of that space?
So as far as shows and PR, I don't want fame. So that's kind of a growth threshold for me is I like building this business, but don't want to go on like, Good Morning America to promote it. So I've kind of veered away from those kinds of things. I do enjoy doing podcasts, but only if it's something that I enjoy talking about, and it's just something that I want to do. And so we haven't really pushed into that side of things. As far as paid ads, though, we have tried paid ads several times. Some of those were expensive mistakes, but we're building something right now with a team for paid ads that looks like it's going to be really promising and exciting.
Awesome. I love that. I respect that. You're just looking to help people and not necessarily be this like famous, thing. So I respect that a lot. Good question here from LinkedIn Live. What tools do you use to help you manage your channel? You guys have already mentioned TubeBuddy, so we don't have to talk about that. But any other tools outside of TubeBuddy to help you guys with, managing your channel, creating content? I'm also curious, like, do you guys have a team or do you guys have a small team, big team? What does that look like behind the scenes?
So we have a small team. There's me, my husband Leland, and then we have Paige. And between the three of us, we run everything. And then we have people that are working for us as like freelancers. So the tools that we use TubeBuddy. We use amazing custom thumbnails for building our thumbnails for us.
So they're a company, you should check them out because they understand the click-through rate and competition and making your thumbnails pop. So they do Sarah's thumbnails.
Yeah. I use schedulers like the Facebook scheduler or OnlyPult for scheduling to Instagram. And that way, because I'm more introverted, I feel like when I'm ready to create content, I want to batch create content. I want to creatively get it all out at once versus feeling like I'm pressured every day or 3 times a week to create a post. So I will do that once a month, sit down and create all of my content for the month and then schedule it out. We also have like an email software service that we use, which, anyone that has email lists will use one. And the one that we use is Drip. We have, website softwares. But yeah, I mean, we try to keep it pretty lean, try to keep it pretty small. And there's always opportunities to grow. And there's always, people coming to us and saying like, you could do this though. And we have to really think about it. Like, do we really want that though? Like, yes, I could, start an Instagram TV, or I could do TikTok, or I could do this. I don't want to do any of that. I really enjoy the lifestyle that we have because we have boundaries around work and the content that we create, and then all of it has a purpose within the business.
I love that. I respect that so much, guys. And that's something that is, you don't hear enough. I think, putting boundaries and not getting so attracted to all these shiny objects, that you can be really lured by and take up a lot of time. So I love that you guys are very intentional and prioritize, your lifestyle as well, your family and everything. So I love that. I'm just seeing here if there's any other questions, because I think we're starting to go over time here. But I think we are pretty good. We covered it all there. One last question. Do you guys ever get scared of running out of content? And I'm curious about the content. Like, how do you guys come up with the topics? Again, from Jason. How do you guys come up with topics like this month? We're going to do this video. Is that based on analytics? Is that based on a sort of a rotation of different, workouts and sort of like topics that you guys go by? Or how does that go? How does that idea and decision making go?
So I create content. We do batch filming about 3 or 4 times a year. And it's in between those times that we're filming, there's a lot of editing and then getting the content out there. And then once we're done with that is when I get creative again. And I start thinking about what are we going to create next? And I will go to my community and ask, what do you want? And that way I can see hundreds of comments and start to see, are there trends, or is there anything I haven't talked about yet? Is there anything I haven't done yet? And then usually what I end up creating is content that's in line with what I'm passionate about at that moment, because it's easiest for me to create that content. Like there are times I'm really into functional movement. I was a former chiropractic assistant, and there are times where I get really into functional movement again, or he'll get into like gymnastics bodies, functional movement training. And so all of a sudden our conversations are about like, moving your body this way, and wow, I could really apply that to yoga. And so that was the entire mobility program that I created, was based on functional movement. But then when I moved on to the next thing, I kind of wasn't thinking about functional movement anymore. I was thinking about Beachbod, knowing that performs well. That was one of the first best performing videos on my channel. I want to reintroduce Beachbod, but I really want to like go at it with a body positivity mindset, because I was getting the wrong kind of interest when I put that video out. So half the time it's, what do people want? How can I align that with what I know is going to perform well? And the other half the time it's, what am I passionate about? And how do I want to help my community? Next year in 2021, I'm interested in creating a program specifically for beginners. And a program specifically for postnatal. I have postnatal content, but an actual calendar that someone can work through. And it's not necessarily things that'll perform really well, but I know it'll be a way to help my community.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that, guys. Guys, so much respect for what you guys are doing. I love everything that you guys, the way that you guys have built your business and continuing just to build it. And would love to have you guys just invite people to connect with you guys. So where can people find you, everything that you're doing, not just on the YouTube channel, but everything else?
So when it comes to yoga, you can find us, on youtube.com/SarahBethYoga, or just type Sarah Beth Yoga in. That's where I'm at. It's also Instagram, Sarah Beth Yoga across the board. But if you want to talk business, you want to learn about business, or you want to have direct access to Leland and occasionally myself when it comes to building, your business on YouTube or leveraging YouTube for leads towards your business, that's where I'd recommend that you go to yogabusinesspros.com and sign up to talk to Leland about his consulting services. And he has a group that you can join where you can get on calls with him and his team and me twice a week to ask questions and follow all of the techniques that have worked for me, and then have worked again for Happy Jack Yoga, and then have worked again there's multiple people coming out of his group that are just gaining so much success because we're teaching the techniques and the tools, but we're also sharing the pitfalls and the mistakes and some of the things that we've learned along the way, so that people can build a business online, but also do it sustainably and in a way that's not going to burn themselves out.
Awesome. Sounds good, guys. If you guys want, I'm going to put all the links to everything, your YouTube, Instagram, everything. But it's specifically, if you guys want that link to hop on a call with Leland and really talk about YouTube and your business, then let us know in the chat. Just type in, SBY, I guess, Sarah Beth Yoga. Type that in the chat. That way we can make sure we get that.
That'd be great.
Yeah. That way we can get that information over to you guys directly. But yeah, awesome. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. I know you guys are super busy. Last thing I want to say is I'm super impressed that you guys run this with 3 full-time people, everything that you guys are doing. So keep it up. And let us know if there's anything we can help you with. And everyone tuning in live, thanks for hanging out. And if you're watching this on the replay, still drop your questions in. We'll make sure we get them answered for you. Awesome. Sarah, Leland, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you so much.